How many teachers have signed their students up for an online resource or asked them to download an app? They hook you in with bells and whistles, engaging ways for your students to interact with your content. But do you know what information they are taking? Do you know how they plan to use it? Do you know who they're sharing it with? Data privacy is a hot topic. It's also a state and federal requirement regarding students. In response, the Department of Education and the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, commonly known as FERPA, require the protection of our children so that companies are not collecting more information than they should, and that if they do have that information, they are safeguarding it. Florida legislation and the DOE have strengthened and tightened rules that protect our students' educational records and the students' personally identifiable information, or PII. This would include names of family, birthdays, email addresses, or other information that could be used to identify them directly or indirectly. Here is the current DOE rule. In order to protect a student's PII from potential misuse, and in order to protect students from data mining or targeting for marketing or other commercial purposes, school boards and charter school governing boards must adopt policies that provide for review and approval of any online educational service that students or their parents are required to use as part of a school activity. These policies are required whether or not there is a written agreement governing student use and whether or not the online educational service is free. These policies are required even if the use of the online educational service is unique to specific classes or courses. So how does this impact me? Here's a scenario. You find a free website one night that you think will help your students find a cool topic for a science fair that aligns with their interests. The next day, you tell the students to go create an account and begin exploring science fair topics that appeal to them. What could go wrong? Are you sure this is safe? Do you have the authority to agree to the terms and conditions on behalf of the Flagler County School Board? Because we all know every site has them. We can't agree that our goal is to protect our children and keep them safe. We would never think of trading their safety for a cool app. So how do we move forward to comply with this new rule to protect student data, prevent tracking, and prevent marketing? What practices do we need to change? Let's start with some of the biggest stumbling blocks: signing up for free apps, software programs, and websites. Because they're not free. They're simply asking you to trade data for their service. And it's not your right to exchange a child's information and online habits for a service. Another big speed bump: agreeing to terms and conditions. Teachers don't have the authority to agree to any terms and conditions for the school or the school board. What about the important apps needed for a special class or unique program? How do staff ensure they are safe and compliant with state rules? They can't. Meeting all the components of the state laws in FERPA can only be done at the district level. So where does this leave us? Well, we must follow a process, even for apps and resources we've used for years. Let's dive into an example of the necessary steps to approve a resource so that you can better understand what's involved. First, a district-wide teaching tool is due for renewal. Second, after reviewing it to ensure it meets state requirements, the teaching and learning team approves the purchase. Third, the purchase request is sent to the district technology team to ensure it meets technology standards and oversees the remaining process. Fourth, the district sends the company a Florida Student Data Privacy Agreement for their review and signature. Fifth, the district legal department then negotiates the terms. The legal terms work back and forth to iron out all the details. This process can take up to 6 weeks or even longer in some cases. Sixth, the agreement is completed and then sent to the company along with payment. Seventh, the resource is then posted to the district website along with the terms and conditions and other state-required information for families to review. Eighth, the resource is then rostered and the resource is made available for students. So, what are the key takeaways and next steps? All online resources, apps, and software must be put through the district's vetting and approval process. You may not direct students to sign up for an online resource that is not on this pre-approved list. If you've used it in the past, it might not be approved anymore. Next, this approval process takes a long time and many teams working together. We must plan ahead and be patient. Also, we are going to reconnect with the native apps on our devices and explore their potential. For more information on FERPA, you can visit the U.S. Department of Education. For more information on the state of Florida's rules regarding student records, you can visit the Florida Department of State and search for the most recent update on 6A-1.0955 educational records. And for the recently passed state legislation, Senate Bill 662 and House Bill 379, you can find them at flsenate.gov.